You're listening to the Why Boarding School podcast, broadcasting around the world. Join us as we promote independent boarding schools throughout the United States and Canada with our invited guests. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jeffrey Quebec.
Welcome to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Strategic Enrollment Management at Chatham Hall in Chatham, Virginia, Carney O'Brien. Welcome, Carney. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks, Jeff. It's really a delight to be here with you.
Originally founded in 1894 as Chatham Episcopal Institute, it was a regional school for young women in Southern Virginia and neighboring North Carolina. In 1927, the school was renamed Chatham Hall. While remaining an all-girls school, the student body became more national in composition. Carney, perhaps you can start off by giving our audience a brief overview of the number of students at Chatham Hall, the grades you offer, where the students come from, etc.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. With that incredible history of over 130 years, we have always remained a small boarding school. We're about 125 girls in grades 9 through 12. We are over 90% boarding with just a handful of day students, and the girls come from now all over the country, about 20 different states, and about 20 to 25% of our student body is from outside the states, and that's all over the world, many different countries from every continent except Antarctica.
That's awesome. And what's the academic curriculum like at Chatham Hall?
Great question. I get very excited about talking about our academics. Academics at Chatham Hall are dynamic and creative. Those would be the two words that first come to mind. There is a universal commitment across the entire faculty to really creative teaching. And within that, specifically, there's an entrepreneurial mindset. The entire faculty is actually trained as teachers of entrepreneurship, and that's with everything from math to history to the art studio. It's a collaborative curriculum. There's a lot of encouragement for internal motivation, asking students to think, to question, to wonder, really tapping into that their individual interests, which in turn creates that internal motivation.
That's awesome. I love that, learning about entrepreneurship. It's cool. And so can you talk a little bit about the academic support, also referred to as CAMS, or Comprehensive Approach to Mastery Support, which is offered at Chatham Hall?
Yes, absolutely. This is a great way for students to get that extra little bit of boost that everybody's going to need at some point. And that's everything from the occasional scheduled one-on-one reviewing a history paper or prepping for a math exam to a handful of girls that are enrolled in the CAMS program with regular structured meetings for organization and some tutoring.
And Carney, can you tell me a little bit about the visual and performing arts offerings?
Yeah, of course. That's one of our really strong areas. In terms of curriculum, it's everything that you can imagine, from fiber arts, the art of quilt, to all of the things, songwriting, portfolio, advanced studio arts, music fundamentals, including introduction to CAD and CAM, computer-aided design and manufacturing. So it's a really robust program for visual arts, and then of course performing arts. We have a dance studio and all 3 seasons of theater.
So you mentioned portfolios, so I assume the faculty are assisting students, especially those who want to apply to art schools, putting together their portfolio?
Yes, preparing for that, and that goes for both visual and performing arts.
Oh, very nice. Are there any special signature programs that are offered at Chatham Hall?
Oh, for sure. So specifically, I don't want to forget anything. The signature programs, I think the things that stand out are, I mentioned the entrepreneurial mindset. Our Global Entrepreneur Program is a curriculum program. It's not a club. It's something that is fully integrated into the curriculum at Chatham Hall. That's a 2-year program that ends with a certificate for the girls. That's a signature program. Our Leaders in Residence is one of the ones that I brag about because we've got women that come from all over the world, across all different disciplines, that have risen to the top of their field, who come to school to work with the girls. And I think a lot of boarding schools have a really great speaker series, and this certainly fits that bill, but it's the in-residence program, part of that program, that really makes it stand out, because these are women like Jane Goodall, Venus Williams. I mean, people that I get a little starstruck about, again, from like all different disciplines, who are coming for multiple days on campus, and they're meeting with the girls. Like you and I talking one-on-one here, these girls have an opportunity to develop a relationship with these incredible mentors and inspiring leaders. So the Leaders in Residence, we also have a Writers in Residence program. I mentioned the Global Entrepreneur Program, Global Scholars, which is a diploma track. I think you're getting the sense there's a lot of customization in our curriculum and who we are as a school, as an institution.
And that in-residence program, I assume, really allows an opportunity to go in depth in these different topics.
Absolutely, yeah. So the girls spend, in addition to the leaders being on campus for multiple days, up to the better part of a week, the girls spend 6 to 8 weeks before this woman arrives studying her history, her biography, her career. They're presenting to their friends, their peers, to the adults about who this woman is. So they are really ready to engage when they get there.
What an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And so how about athletics? Is every student required to play a sport? And also, what are some of the athletic offerings that Chatham Hall has?
Yeah. Everyone is required to be engaged in the afternoons. Most of those students are engaged in some sort of a team sport, but that might also be dance or theater. So those dance, theater, yoga is offered winter and spring, and then the rest of our athletics are part of the Blue Ridge Conference, except for one of our signature programs, which is our riding program. And that is offered. That's one of the things that the girls can do all 3 seasons in addition to dance. Outside of that, we're part of the Blue Ridge Conference. So in the fall, the girls can be involved in our JV or varsity tennis team. All the athletics have a JV or varsity level: volleyball, cross country, field hockey. In the winter, basketball, swimming and diving. We also offer strength and conditioning in the winter. And then golf, lacrosse, track and field, and soccer in the spring.
So I'm kind of curious about the riding program. You mentioned how it's all 3 seasons. So is that because there's an indoor facility in addition to outdoor, or how does that work?
That is true. Yeah, we have incredible equestrian facilities, the barns, the indoor arena. We also have a covered arena, multiple outdoor show rings as well. About 30% of our student population is involved at one point or another in our program. So, it's not just a school for horsey girls, but horsey girls are very, very excited about the opportunities that they have to compete, both through IEA, which is the Interscholastic Equestrian Association, and that's modeled on the college competition programs, but then they can also show in the A-rated shows. And if any of your listeners are horse people, they'll know what I'm talking about. So there's a rich diversity of opportunities for development and competition. And it's a big deal for girls who might be traveling 45 minutes in both directions when they're at home to get to the barn. Our girls literally walk 3 minutes from the dining hall right to the barns and the stables, and they have the girls who are riding for in any given season have an opportunity to ride mounted instruction 4 days a week. The 5th day a week is unmounted instruction because proper horsemanship is really important. So the girls are getting all aspects of taking care of these animals. We also offer an equine science program as well.
And they can participate in each one of the 3 seasons, which is great.
Absolutely. So they don't have to ride all 3 seasons. We do have girls who choose to. We also have girls who might be playing soccer in the spring, but they keep up with their riding, just doing individual lessons once a week.
Very nice. So, Carney, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation talking about Chatham Hall in Chatham, Virginia.
Do you have any questions or guests that you'd like to see on an upcoming Why Boarding School podcast? You can contact us directly through our website at whyboardingschool.com. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Strategic Enrollment Management at Chatham Hall in Chatham, Virginia, Carney O'Brien. And Carney, as we continue our conversation, perhaps you can share with our audience, what is a typical school day like at Chatham Hall?
Sure, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of connection in a typical day. I think for your listeners that are familiar with boarding school, it would follow pretty closely. The girls get up and the dining hall's open for breakfast. They've got morning classes. There's a mid-morning break every day of the week. That will be twice a week. That'll be a visit to chapel for a senior chapel talk or another community gathering and announcements. Once a week, it'll be a cookie break, which is unique to Chatham Hall. That's one of our advisory meetings every Wednesday. There's cookies out on the arcade. The girls pick up their cookies and they get together with their advisories. Afternoon classes, afternoon activities, dinner. Of course, there's lunch in the middle of the day, study hall, and then time to connect back in the dorm with a check-in and lights out.
And so how about the weekends at Chatham Hall? What are they like? Are there different events or clubs or activities, maybe trips off campus, et cetera?
All of those things and more. And the girls are very involved in that as well. There's a lot of opportunity for leadership among the student population. One of those leadership opportunities is working with the assistant dean of students who plans all of the student activities. So she's connecting with girls, they're coming up with ideas, and again, that might be, a professional athletic event or going over to Friday night football at the boys' school that's across town. Dances, mixers, there's a nice mix between heading out into the community, and Chatham is situated in a very small, safe town where you can wander up to the little independent bookstore or coffee shop or to one of the little boutiques or salons. Between that, heading out to bigger trips with groups of folks chaperoned to the mall or a play, and then also just some cozy stuff back on campus. It could be, s'mores in a movie or crafting in the fabric room. There's a real nice mix of things, so that if you're feeling adventurous, there's lots of great options out in one of the multiple cities that are nearby us. Or you might just be like hanging out on the 365 acres and on our nature trails.
Carney, not only does that seem like a lot of fun, but it does seem like a perfect example of Chatham Hall being really student-centered with the students' involvement in planning those activities.
Absolutely. Very much student-centered with the students' planning activities. And I like to think of us as a small school as very much of a boutique experience. A lot of what we do really is very customized to the individual student.
Very nice. And how about the meals on campus? Are they served sit down? Are they buffet? Are they required? How does that work?
Yep, it's a mix, as it is in most schools. I have to say our dining hall is pretty exceptional. I'm vegan, and there's always something fantastic for me to eat. There's always a rice station, there's always a pasta station, there's always a salad bar, and there's always a sandwich bar. And there's always cereal, and 5 out of 7 days a week there is a frozen yogurt soft serve machine going as well. So you're going to find something wonderful to eat. Once a week there is, twice a week there's sit down. Once a week that's with your advisory group, and once a week that's with what we call rotating tables, which is an opportunity to sit down with a faculty member that you might not have a lot of interaction with naturally in your academic or dorm life day, and also with different students who might not be involved in any of your classes or your sports, but in a group of 125, 130 girls, you're likely to know everyone, but how often do you really get to sit down and chat with them? And that's one of those opportunities. Am I answering that question?
Yeah, very much so. And it's nice to hear about so many of the wonderful bonds that do take place at these meals as you share. They're sitting down with each other and having, conversing, and sometimes stepping away from that technology for a little bit.
Well, 100%. I mean, you bring up a good point. There is never technology in the dining hall. You'll see the shelves outside of the dining hall just littered with iPads and faculty phones because there's no phones, what we would say below dorm in the during the academic day, and there are never any phones in the dining hall. We always say that the person in front of you is more important than what might be on the device in front of you.
Well said.
Yeah.
And Carney, how about dorm life? What's dorm life like at Chatham Hall?
Yeah, I think what is similar to what you would expect at any good boarding school is you've got dorm faculty or dorm parents that are up there to connect with the girls. What's unusual about dorm life at Chatham Hall is the way that everything is connected. So at Chatham Hall, you're not going to be walking half a mile up a hill to get to breakfast and then another half a mile out to one of your classes. One of the unique things about our 365-acre expansive campus is that all of the primary academic and student life buildings are centralized and connected. So the dorms are on the second and third floors of our main academic and administrative buildings, and also above our dining hall. So you wake up in the morning and you just tumble downstairs to your class or to breakfast or to come and visit me in my office and say hi. Dorm life is a really dynamic, friendly place. And a lot of the girls who've been signing contracts recently, because we're in that season, regularly tell me that one of the reasons that they've chosen Chatham Hall is because of this sense of community that you really do get through dorm life. We also are unique in that when girls are exploring Chatham Hall as an option, they always have the option to spend a night. Because dorm life and student life and community life is so important to who we are, we want to make sure that girls have an opportunity to experience that before they make decisions.
So speaking about the community at Chatham Hall, is there an advisor system?
Yes, of course. There is, as I think you would hear most schools say, every student has at least one trusted adult. And that is, most of the time, that's their advisor. And that's in a group of, 4 to 6 other girls that are connected with, that's your main person for the students as well as for the parents. That's the person who's going to connect you to anybody that can answer questions if they can't answer them. And that's your go-to person, someone that can help you navigate a conflict if you're worried about something that's going on up in the dorm or trying to figure out how to approach a teacher to get some extra help or just navigate a conversation. They're your go-to people.
Carney, would you say, is there a typical Chatham Hall student?
I would say that's a great question. All of the girls who are at Chatham Hall are girls that are really ready and excited. So I would put it this way. They're ready and excited to engage in our mission, which is to equip curious thinkers to lead lives of impact. So these are girls who are courageous girls. They're really ready to step out of their comfort zone. They don't like to be put in boxes. They're girls who get excited about learning. They're really curious girls.
Very nice. Are there any cool traditions at Chatham Hall that may be unique from other schools? Or perhaps there's that one tradition that you hope always remains part of the school?
Yeah, I think seasonally, my favorite tradition, and I hear this come up with the girls very often in the fall, is our New Girls Picnic or our Purple and Gold Picnic. Because every faculty, everyone who's ever been part of the Chatham Hall community is either a purple or a gold. The gold team is obviously perfectly fine, but go purple. And in the fall, all the new girls are sorted, all the new girls and all the new grown-ups are sorted into either a purple or gold team. And that happens at this awesome picnic out in our meadow with a wonderful spread of food and celebration and music, and everybody's dressed up in their purple and gold. And then there's this big momentous occasion where your name gets called out and you find out whether you're on the purple or the gold team, and it's a great night. And then there's ceremonies with light and singing, and that's my favorite fall. In the winter, it's decoration week where the campus gets decorated for winter holidays. And then in the spring, it's kind of a return to that, a culmination. Along with graduation, there's the ring ceremony and the lantern ceremony, which is a literal passing of the torch. That's the lantern part of it, from the seniors to the juniors. I won't go on and on about it, but it is a wonderful, really, I think I'm not overstating it when I say it's a really magical night.
So I have to ask, is purple winning this year?
Actually, yes, we are.
Okay.
We are winning this year.
Very nice. So, Carney, before we discuss the admissions process, is there anything about Chatham Hall that we didn't discuss today that you'd like to mention?
I think one of the things that is really exciting to me that might not is, okay, let me just put it this way. It's the Chatham Hall's commitment to civil discourse. I think that as boarding schools, we all do a really good job of bringing a diverse group of people together. And we all know that a diversity of perspective and mindset allows for deeper learning, looking at things through different lenses. One of the things that I feel really proud about at Chatham Hall is the way that we explicitly and implicitly are trained and then teach civil discourse so that girls can really engage in that diversity, because we're not all going to agree. And it's important for us to, and for the girls to develop strong voices and really know how to present what's important to them. It's equally important for them to develop strong listening ears as well. And I think that's something that really does stand out about our school. People recognize it.
So if someone's interested in Chatham Hall, how might they go about starting the admissions process?
Right on the admissions page of our website, which is chathamhall.org. And it's very easy to navigate. You click on admissions, you can meet everybody from the team there. You start with an inquiry. It's very intuitive to use either our application process or the SAO through the Enrollment Management Association. I strongly encourage a visit. There's a lot of opportunities for customized individual visits. And those are all arranged through our student and family experience coordinator. And then it's standard, like as you do with all of the schools. There's the essays so that we can get to know you. There's interviews and visits. The parents have an opportunity to check us out. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, very much so. This is great. So once again, the website address is www.chathamhall.org.
Correct.
Well, Carney, this is great. I've enjoyed our conversation, learning more about Chatham Hall and sharing with our audience. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for all you do, Jeffrey. I really appreciate it.
Great. Carney O'Brien, Director of Strategic Enrollment Management at Chatham Hall in Chatham, Virginia.
Thank you for listening to the Why Boarding School podcast. We look forward to you joining us for our next episode. Please remember to subscribe to the Why Boarding School podcast and help us spread the word. Until next time.